Mr. Speaker, there is at this time a much-needed comprehensive effort underway to modernize our government, to root out fraud, to root out inefficiency, to implement reforms that will save taxpayers money and lead to a higher quality of government service while right-sizing the federal government. This is an undertaking that is supported by a broad majority of Americans of all party affiliations. I have been very appreciative of the administration's efforts to keep us informed, as well as to solicit feedback from members of Congress as to how things are playing out in our districts, knowing that such a massive undertaking that's being done, in a much-needed aggressive pace, will inevitably, from time to time, produce some effects that need to be looked at more closely. And so one of the ways in which I've provided feedback to the administration is as it concerns the issue of fire protection in my district. Now, of course, we all saw the horror that unfolded in Los Angeles recently, but in recent years, these catastrophic events have become a recurring phenomenon. They've become, sadly, a fact of life for folks in California. And several of the most devastating fires in state history have occurred in my district. And in the wake of these fires, there has been a massive undertaking to do whatever we can to try to prevent similar events from happening in the future. It's been one of my very first priorities since I got to Congress is to bring unprecedented resources to our district for massive fire mitigation projects that will keep our communities safe. And by the way, there's a lot of reform that we still need to do in terms of the regulations. There's been some minor improvements, but the Fix Our Forest Act, for example, is a bill that will go a long way. But we do need the resources, which we have managed to secure at an unprecedented level. And I have simply tried to emphasize the importance of protecting these efforts, especially given the fact that in parts of my district that have rather extreme weather, there's a pretty short window of time right now to get some of these projects started and to get them completed. So just as a few examples, there's the Plumas County Fire Safe Council has a grant, nearly $7 million, that's very important for fire mitigation efforts. The Nevada County Board of Supervisors has significant grants that have come in for vital wildfire mitigation projects, shaded fuel breaks, evacuation planning, and community wildfire protection planning. The Mono County Board of Supervisors has a public safety and law enforcement grant related to staffing of the forest protection officers and law enforcement officers as well. American Rivers, there's a $16 million grant. It's being funded by the National Fish and Wildlife. There's matching funds as well with a number of regional partners. And the purpose of the project is to restore high-severity burned areas near the South Fork of the American River and Consumers River to prevent erosion and flooding, as well as to protect water quality and for drinking, irrigation, and hydropower. There's also the Eastern Sierra Climate and Communities Resilience project. This is in Mammoth Lakes, a $6.7 million for implementation funds, as well as a number of other types of funds. And this is a project that, again, is designed to do important fire mitigation work, and there's potentially 1,609 acres that, with a reduction of 77% of total acres, that is now potentially being faced. We have then, as well, some reports of folks with the Forest Service and positions that might be that are in jeopardy, and in the Camino Fire Safe Council, we've also gotten some reports that of activity when it comes to their grants as well. So that's just to emphasize that this is an issue of the highest importance for folks in my district, and that we need to Absolutely, and I've been advocating this since I've been in elected office. Have much more sensible policies when it comes to forest management, when it comes to the laws and regulations that we have that make it so difficult to do this needed work. We also need to do the work at a scale and the resources to do it at a scale that's much higher than we've done in the past. I've been extremely critical of the governor, for example, of not doing that, of exaggerating the amount of fire protection work done by almost 700%, according to Capitol Public Radio. And we've made good progress in terms of bringing federal resources to get this work done, and I'll continue to advocate for that here in every way that I can. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.